Hey, Sluggish, how's it going? What's up, Connor? Okay, let's get into it. Let's come up with something. Let's make something. Let's also shake the camera as much as possible. That definitely helps. There we go. Hope everybody's doing well. What are we, the 9th? February 9th today. Left-hand side, so we'll do a left-hand prompt. There's really no rhyme or reason to these phrases anyway, either. They're just there to get us thinking a certain direction. Like number 43, which will take us in the direction of Wonderfully Goofy. We did that one like this month, I think, or last month. I'm gonna do it again. Executive decision. Hey, Construct. Oh, this is good. 68, commanding presence. We can work with that. Commanding presence. Now we just need to figure out what that brings to mind. Commanding presence, I think of, you know, the boss, who's in charge. Could also be who's really in charge, you know. The way that sometimes it's not the person who seems like they should be. Either cut 2 entries or add 6. Nice. Yeah, I had the realization writing the other day because, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what am I going to do when I don't have this sort of nice safety buffer margin at the top? And I was writing, and I realized that I could write 2 lines for 1 line. So, yeah, come September, going to be writing tiny in here, almost certainly. So I think I like this idea of the right hand actually being in charge. So I'm gonna let's run with that. All right. What's up, inhabitor of walls? Probably. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary blank. So when you look at the big, scary, rather than massive orc, butcher. I like butcher a number of different ways. Let's see. Okay, well let's use the let's have it be the orc butcher. Executioner would definitely be big scary. It's always death and taxes, tax collector, executioner. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big scary orc butcher, tax collector, goblin outside. Like knock knock, it's me, the goblin outside. I'm big and scary and I'm the boss. What's up, cool hand mountain man? We could do that. We'll see. How about trying to think of a like big and scary doesn't pair well with goblin. I guess it could. How about big scary boss of the goblins? Maybe it's not even a goblin. It's just their boss. Some sort of typically in charge. How about in a monstrous capacity, like the let's do something with horns. It's the big scary horned demon. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the... We could even take this. Everyone thinks the one in charge is like the biggest goat. Or like the big scary, let's say gray goat. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, crystalline figure. Glows with an eerie blue light. Big, scary, glowing figure. I like glowing crystal figure. Let's do that. It's definitely eerie blue light. So we have orc, tax collector, goblin boss, demon, some kind of animal, some sort of mysterious glowing figure, the giant floating head, the big scary floating head. Obviously. Well, given that, we should do something that's voice only. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, booming voice. Nice. I like that. I like that. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big scary. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, something scary. Pay attention, though. It's really the blank. Hey, Samuel. Thank you, thank you. Greetings to you as well, and all of Germany. You'll have to pass that along for us. Some greetings from, let's say, it's really the one in the mirror. And talking mask. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big scary orc butcher. The big scary tax collector, the boss of the goblins. Pay attention. The one in charge is really the one in the mirror, the talking mask. Hey John, welcome to the stream. The flickering light sending Morse code. The blinking lights. I like that. Don't know how we'll make sense of it, but that's what's exciting. The Dream Walker. Hey, Rizos, welcome back. The Void, the infant child on fire. Pay attention. It's really... Well, if we didn't have... I imagine it's the one... There's something... The one with the scepter, you know, almost? Or like the one... It's not the big one. It's the one, like, taking notes. Or it's the one... Just start... Yeah, we could just catch all everything construct into that. I'm going to say the one with the scepter. What's that character's... What's it about? Their scepter. A Minotaur? I see the Minotaur is in charge. The stalking... Pay attention, it's really the... How about the quiet Minotaur? How about a group? What if it's really the council in charge? But not something as boring as the council. What if it's the maybe we name them. Maybe we give the group a name. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, horned demon, the gray goat, the glowing crystal figure. Pay attention. The one in charge is really the one in the mirror, the talking mask, the blinking lights, the dream walker, the one with the scepter, the quiet minotaur. Septicor. I'm okay with Mimic, actually. Can make that work. The Fallen God. I guess, like, rather than council, we could say, like, the elders. Ooh, nope. I know what it is. Zach, we just made a thing. It's two parts to it. We're gonna roll on it right now. There's two D8 lists, and Mad Lib style, it's gonna give us ideas that we could use for D&D or technically anything really, but largely we're thinking gaming related. So I think we're gonna end up with an unexpected boss or a couple of boss characters. So let's roll a couple and we'll see. 7 and a 5. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, floating head. It would have me convinced. Pay attention, though. It's really the one with the scepter. Okay. These two snap together perfectly well, right? Only the most perceptive of the group is going to notice the sort of the thin, sort of magical trail that connects the giant floating, talking, scary boss head with the probably hidden scepter, or like the person who's like silently keeping the spell active. Those fit together super well. Let's find ones that don't fit together so well. Those are always the exciting ones. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, booming voice. Pay attention, though. It's really the blinking lights. Okay, so this feels a little bit kind of high-tech, modern, but it doesn't have to be. So we could adapt this. What do we have? The idea of flickering, blinking lights and a booming voice. Imagine a scenario where there's a voice coming from the darkness, from the void, or maybe from like the spiritual stone, like wherever people are, the shrine. But the voice is speaking one thing, and then the lights are communicating something else. I mean, it could be something like Morse code. It could be something else, but like if I was to do it, it would be maybe not Morse code, but maybe a sequence of torches or something that would flicker, that would change color, and they would be identifying words or imagery or something carved that could be deciphered. It would have to be a message that could be deciphered. Hey, no problem, Cool Hand. Good luck. Have a good one. But that would be a really challenging thing both to communicate and also to puzzle out. It's like, pay attention to the visual, not what's being spoken. But it's an interesting puzzle idea. You'd almost have to like record something for that, which would be nice and different. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary gray goat. Pay attention, though. It's really the children. Oh. Interesting. So in this scenario, something really disturbing has happened in town. Something that, when I think of a goat being in charge, now you could say that, you could take that in a small town, quirky, fun, haha, that goat's in charge. But like the goat here is almost a representation of some kind of evil force, right? The goat, the old Billy Goat's in charge. But if in this case, it's actually not the goat, it's the children. That's probably worse, huh? So the goat's a distraction. The goat's the sacrificial. Convince everybody that they've taken care of this possession threat when really it was the children the whole time. Yeesh. Could be. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary orc butcher. Probably some kind of small town. They kind of run the show. Pay attention, though. It's really, actually, the mimic. The mimic? Yeah. Maybe it's like, what would it just? It's like have the orc butcher actually use that big butcher blade that they carry with them everywhere. They won't be able to do it. It doesn't work. You ever touch it? You ever see it in the light when it changes just so? Somebody's telling that butcher of ours what to do. This is such an absurd idea. But the idea that they have to sort of carry around, exactly, Max, yeah. Ratatouille style, except they're listening to maybe maybe it could be a rolling pin or something like that, but that'd be more for a baker than a butcher. Samuel, it is about closing on 9:30 a.m. for me. Resos, I like. That's a good take on gray goat and children aspect, actually. Clever reading of the words. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, horned demon. Pay attention. It's actually the quiet minotaur. Okay. I mean, this just feels like, you know, the one that calls the shots versus the one that sort of gets all the attention, right? Like which of these is the strategic kind of dangerous one. I could also see interpreting the quiet minotaur to be like a literal statue. Like, yeah. That the demons they're running the show, but do you ever notice that they seem to always pause? They seem to be talking to this inanimate statue. I kind of like the quiet minotaur being literally an object. Three and two. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary goblin boss, when really it's the talking mask. I mean, can't be mad about stumbling into Majora's Mask, basically. I don't mind that at all. It's like this goblin, this boss of theirs, is pretty capable, right? Keeps them all in line, but also is super strategic and threatening and always outsmarts the party. It's like, you ever notice, it doesn't take that mask off, though. Maybe it's a kind of a wooden carved mask of some sort. It's like, what if the mask is actually the source of the trouble? And what if the mask could get worn by someone else? I always liked that. There's like that trope from like Batman the Animated Series, right, where it's like the puppet Scarface. It's like it can have many different, henchmen, but it's kind of always the one in charge, like this sort of object that is haunted. So the idea that the mask, like, you could defeat, like, it'd be kind of neat to see a party take out the goblin boss, not realizing that it was the mask, and then the mask shows up again, being worn by somebody new. Everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary, glowing crystal figure. But pay attention, it's really the one in the mirror. Okay, so this is like your carnival funhouse of terror, right? A glowing crystal figure, but actually the one in the mirror, on the other side of the mirror. Okay. Let's take this. Let's interpret this in a really funky way. What if there was someone who had recently kind of taken some sort of leadership capacity in a small town? Maybe they're the new mayor. Maybe they're the new cleric at the church. And part of the charm, part of the appeal to them, is that they have this really off-putting, disarming, angelic, almost glowing skin. People are like, where are you from? And they have all these fantastical stories, and everybody just is smitten by them, in part because they feel like they are extremely special. But what if that glowing quality is only that way because they are like a projection from either another place or through a mirror? It's like a projection of how somebody wants to be perceived, and so there's this magical sort of glowing aura around them. But you'd have to identify that, like, the mirror is the source, or that that's the portal to where this person is actually from. Literally a puppet and strings situation. Could be neat. And no need to roll. The only ones left are, everyone thinks the one in charge is the big, scary tax collector, but it's actually the dream walker. So, tax collector comes to town, being more menacing than usual, being more destructive than usual, more biting with their language. Well, that's because it's not the tax collector, actually. It's their probably like helpful new assistant who's actually been sort of visiting the dreams, visiting the townsfolk, terrorizing them in their dreams. Yeah, let's take a look at the server table. All right, so I'm rolling on something called Mountain Shrines. This is the one. I'm sure Construct will drop a link to our Discord. Because there are folks in the Discord making tables that I don't even see, I don't even look at. So let's take a look at this one. Ooh, we're rolling a D10 and then a D20. Man, I'm going to have to pull out a D20 for this. Is a zine prompt? Awesome. Gotta grab a proper D20. Out with it. There we go. Okay. All right. Prompt is: the party stumbled across a shrine of some kind in the mountains. It was made of mosaic crystals. But that's okay, because your party came prepared to deal with... To deal with what? 3 goblins in a trench coat. Boom. Well, I did ask for a challenge. Some stuff that doesn't fit well together. So the party stumbled across a shrine made of mosaic crystals. But that's okay, because they are prepared to deal with 3 goblins in a trench coat. This is a Ghostbusters scenario. Peering into the crystals as they shine and shimmer and reflect back, you start to notice that it's not reflecting back the party, it's reflecting back whatever they think. So first it's them, and then you see a flash of what the bard had for breakfast, and you see a flash of what it was like out on the road, and then it's like, oh no, everybody clear your minds. And they don't do it in time, and they summon 3 goblins in a trench coat. And now they're faced with, okay, well, we conjured these 3. They don't necessarily seem to mean us harm, but boy, are 3 goblins in a trench coat annoying. Now we have to trek with them all the way back to town, because this is in the mountains, so it's like... It really becomes a morality test. Is the party going to escort these goblins, free them out into the mountains, or, man, I definitely have a couple of groups that I've run for that would just off the goblins. No second thought. Just for messing up their trip to the mountains. That's a good one. Thanks for the extra bonus roll there. Thanks, everybody, for all the great ideas. This was a good one. February 9th is in the books. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Discord's linked up in the chat. I'll throw my zine close-up over there, shop.ryanmldm.com if you want to check that out. And hopefully I'll be on later today. I've got a crafting project that I'm really itching to finish up. Hopefully I'll be able to do that today. Probably not, but maybe. All right. See you, everybody. Have a great one.